What's the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning? Personally, I begin my day by looking at my phone. This is not to see how many messages I have received or to check whether I have gotten any likes on my latest Instagram post. It is simply to check the time. The clock in my room is 15 minutes ahead, and even though I love math, I simply cannot deal with these kinds of mind boggling equations so early in the morning. However, while I'm looking at my phone, my eyes inevitably wander down, lower to where the notifications are present, and I find myself clicking on each one of them, almost desperate to know who has WhatsApped me or who slid into my DMs. What started as a way to find out whether I could sleep a little longer turned into me mindlessly scrolling through my phone for 30 minutes or more until my sister comes into my room to wake me up. There's nothing quite like a good hit of dopamine to start my day off right. I didn't know what dopamine was for quite a long time. Until one day, as I was scrolling through Reddit, I found out that dopamine is the same chemical that makes people happy when they gamble, smoke, and drink. And it is the same chemical that gets released in your brain when you hear the buzz of a notification from a social media site. Social media. These two words seem to strike terror into the hearts of all parents as they think of all the cases that this store, all the dangers that this storehold of dopamine possesses. And they are scared for a good reason, as we all know about all the cases of trafficking, kidnapping, and rape that have occurred when an innocent message has been sent to a stranger on the internet. These platforms can be toxic at times, and yet so incredibly useful. We can use WhatsApp and Facebook to catch up with old friends and make new ones. We can use Instagram to post ads about our new business and reach our target market with ease. We can use Reddit and Twitter to start fun arguments and chime in to give our own opinions. My point is, we can be heard on social media. We can converse with like minded individuals and feel like we will not be yelled at for talking back when we are just giving our point of view. Now, let's talk about spinach. Yes, you heard me right, spinach. The leafy, green, bitter vegetable that every mother wishes her child eats more of. Did you know that eating an excessive amount of spinach can cause kidney stones due to the harmful overload of oxalic acid that is present in spinach? Adding on, eating a large amount of bitter gourd, a vegetable whose praises are sung by every parent, can cause stomach pain, irregular heart rhythm, and miscarriage in pregnant women. Just like everything else in this world, when ingested in small quantities, these vegetables can be incredibly beneficial to one's health. And yet, when they're ingested in high amounts, they can be potentially fatal. I personally have always been an extremely extroverted person. There is nothing I love more than meeting someone new or going for an outing with friends and family. My sister, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. She can be an ambivert at times and can laugh and crack jokes and make other people laugh, but only with the people she knows. When she meets a new person, you can practically hear the crickets chirping and the wheels turning in her head as she thinks of something to say. She almost looks terrified of talking and often blurts out random and embarrassing things about herself only to chastise herself for it later. Maybe her being tongue tied is just due to her being genetically introverted and me being extroverted. But both, she and I often wonder if her excessive reading could be the cause of her being introverted. I have been witness to her stumbling about what to say and her unintentional rudeness to people she has just met when she stays silent due to her being tongue tied. I know when a slightly dreamy look floats across her face that she is reading a familiar book in her head, and it is almost impossible to get her back down to earth. She simply cannot hear us yelling, leading to her daydreaming, a source of laughter for most of her friends. But in front of strangers, this daydreaming is seen as being inhospitable. She simply cannot hear us yelling, leading to her daydreaming, a source of laughter for most of our friends. But in front of strangers, this daydreaming is seen as being inhospitable. She believes that if she could tear herself away from books more often, she believes that if she could tear herself away from books more often, she could learn to be more socially interactive. However, the problem is that she knows that reading makes her giddy with happiness. And to learn to feel that same happiness by interacting with new people just seems pointless to her. Depression and anxiety have skyrocketed in our generation, and social media has been villainized for being the cause of these mental illnesses for the past decade. I understand that looking at pictures of people who seem to have a perfect life and seem to have no problems can be detrimental to one's mental health. I also do understand that even though social media has age limit restrictions, it is insultingly easy to fake one's age on the internet. Drinking, gambling, and smoking all have age restrictions as well. But if you want to experience the numbing effect that they possess, illegally purchased alcohol and cigarettes are easy to find. Just like alcohol and gambling, it is the overindulgence that causes issues, not the product itself. In moderation, every product has its advantages. After all, there was a reason that the product was invented in the first place. Alcohol was created as a preservative in medicine. Tobacco was used to dress wounds and was used as a painkiller. Gambling was created simply because people wanted to feel lucky. Social media was created to help users connect digitally with friends, family members, colleagues, and like minded individuals they might never have met in person. Now, all of these products are seen as Satan, but that is because they're not being used for what they're supposed to be used for. Spending time with our friends can help freshen our minds and give us perspectives other than our own. Watching a movie or reading a book can improve our vocabulary and give us some general knowledge, all while letting us have a little me time. Spending time outside the house while riding a bike or playing with our friends or simply walking on our own can clear our heads and help us gather our thoughts. However, just like everything else in the world, if we do any of these activities in excessive amounts, it can be detrimental to our health. Like if we spend too much time with our friends, we might not have enough time to study. If we spend too much time watching movies or constant exposure to screens, we can have eyesight and vision problems. We need to learn how to find that middle ground, where we can be focused, complete all of our work, and yet are not too exhausted, mentally or physically. We have the right to enjoy the pleasures of life. This can be taxing, and we need to learn how to take a break from time to time when we need it. We deserve to relearn how to truly relax, relearn how to maintain that balance. I would like to end with a quote by Laurie Deshane, an author. Life is all about balance. You don't always need to get stuff done. Sometimes it's perfectly okay and absolutely necessary to shut down, kick back, and do nothing. Thank you.